Marin, it is Friday, and you know what that means.
Good morning. It's selling Microsoft Teams rooms Friday
It's
morning.
time for the fastest 10 minutes of Microsoft Teams news of the week. And yes, Michelle, we have the air horn. It's time to go. But as we talk about Friday, as we talk about Teams rooms, there's one thing that I think we need to say right up off the top of the show. Congratulations, Monique!
Woo! Congrats, Monique, joining the LSC for Avixa, representing Microsoft there. Couldn't be more proud of Monique Rezai, joining a great group there.
I am happy to see Microsoft leadership in an organization that I think is too stuck into the crimping of BNCs and VGA technology. We are in a modern communication world, and we have a community of people that now have representation on this board. So congratulations, Monique. Congratulations to everybody in this slide, and thank you everybody in the community for the support. I think we're really moving forward. And moving forward, we've got a new license, Marin.
Yeah, we talked about this previously when we talked about the $8 bargain basement price for shared devices. Definitely when you think about hot desking, our panels, this is a new license that you want to be aware of. It was what's the previously known as?
Common Area Phone, the CAP license. Correct. We're moving into the new world, and this will actually be for Teams panels, Teams phones, a lot of those devices that don't have logins and don't necessarily really need all of the capabilities of Teams. This is where that license comes in. It'll be there by the end of the year. Also, Marin, what's new? There is a new whiteboard.
Super exciting.
Of new things.
And coming to Android, which is amazing on Teams Room. So you think about the Neat board and the Yealink meeting board. This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest announcements of the year for me.
We had a training session. We brought on Sandhya and Tony from the engineering group here at Microsoft for Teams Rooms on Android. They shared with us the newest update that's actually in beta right now is going to include the walk-up and whiteboard feature, something that a lot of people have been waiting for. Also, Marin, we've talked about it here before, deprecation of basic authentication in Exchange. So now that basic authentication is gone, what's next? The Exchange team wrote a blog post about it. There's things that you can do to clean up your tenant, make sure that you're ready for that new way of modern authentication. So make sure to check that out. And Marin, another update in Teams.
Love to see it. So this is sign language view for Teams meetings, yet another view. And actually, I saw a slide the other day. We had 200 updates to the Teams platform last year, 300 planned in the coming year. So just love every single week we get new features, and this is a really big one for diversity and inclusion.
Micro's mantra, empower every person on the planet to do more, and that includes everyone, and that's what's important. So inclusivity and diversion shown here on the team side. And again, you cannot have Teams rooms without teams making sure that everything's on there. Marin, device deployment playbook, we've said it I think 3 weeks in a row now, but it's one of my favorite documents that's out there.
You need to download this PowerPoint. It is a little heavy, but that is a direct download link. So take a moment, write it down in your browser. If you have not downloaded this, please do this today. It is a wonderful resource. We talked about this previously. We get so excited about PowerPoints. I literally really do, but this is a good one that you will get a lot of guidance from.
And I put the public link actually in the Selling Teams Room LinkedIn group. If you're not a part of that group, please go join that group. If you're not registered, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, Michael, I know that you're going to ask me to say, go subscribe, hit that subscribe button, mash that subscribe button, but go on. Marin, I like to game. Do you like to game?
I do. I love gaming. I know you and I are both gamers. You probably more so than me, but there's some really good ones on here. And I was checking out YouTube for the latest and greatest in Microsoft this week. And this is a fun one. So we've got basically games for work. And I think you've got some stats on the next slide that talk about gaming being an important skill, really, that sort of leads into work, right?
Yeah. I think you see what's on here. It's solitaire, it's those kind of games. But gaming is an important part of learning, too. I don't like to take all of these static videos where two people get on every morning, Friday morning at 9 o'clock and talk about a PowerPoint. That's not how I learn, Marin. I learn through gaming, and learning. Microsoft Learn actually has some games that can play to help you actually learn. And if you look at how people learn and actually technical skilling, this is a key way to do it. So it was a nice blog post. It was a nice example of how to learn some new skills. So if you've got some free time, go ahead and learn.
Love it.
Also, speaking about learning, Marin, this is your favorite thing.
I do. I catch up on these podcasts every week. This is one of, I think, two that actually came out this week, and it talks about how to tell, how leaders can tell if their employees are thriving. I think the other one talks about Gen Z. So I love these. They're not too long. They're usually 10, 15 minutes at max, but always some just good tidbits.
We've talked about the idea of productivity paranoia and leadership being out of touch with how productive employees are. And this gives a great example of how they can look at things, how Microsoft Customer Zero is actually looking at things and polling their people. Marin, if you have not gone to the admin training resources, they are updated. I don't know if you know this, but not only partners, but everybody can get PowerPoint decks on how to actually deploy Teams rooms and go through all of this. This is collateral that everyone can use.
There is a lot there, right? I want to say we had, 8 modules in there? And we are working on an updated version. I think we're thinking about April or May for a new tech training boot camp, but this is very up to date, lots of decks. We do a really good job at Microsoft, I think, in providing resources. And
overwhelming sometimes in resources, Marin.
Overwhelming, yes. But for me, this is stuff that is just great to have sort of a download deck and keep all these in your browser favorites. It goes and separates them all modular, so you don't have to go and download every single one. But great resources. I love it.
Yeah. And speaking of great resources, our friend Amanda, if you are not following Amanda on LinkedIn, please do so now. She started a series from stats to chats. Very important. You love to crunch numbers. I love to crunch numbers. I love data.
We all love data, but I think Amanda does a great job. She walks through some of the work trend index stats, where they come from, what do they mean, how do they relate to our business. So really breaking it down in great detail. And again, we love these little 5-minute quick hits. And so it's a really quick little learn session with her. And I think she's going to be doing that consistently, right? That was the first of more to come.
Absolutely. And I think it helps all of us in some of the conversations that we have to actually understand what these stats are and how they can be related to real life work with Microsoft Teams rooms. And we do it very quickly here. We do other long form webinars and things like that, but Amanda does a great job, has a lot of good information inside of this. So if you did not see the first episode, make sure that you go and watch the second episode and follow Amanda on LinkedIn. Marin, we've talked about it, do more with less.
Yeah. Times, economic uncertainty. And this is where you think about just technology as being an enabler. And actually, I was telling Jimmy, Satya was on MSNBC this week and CNBC this week, talking about just the economy and where Microsoft sort of fits in, where, think about phone and using Teams. People have these licenses and they're needing to maximize them, learn about productivity. How can we leverage the tools that we currently have to do more? And obviously Microsoft leans in really heavily there. So you'll see a lot more about do more with less. I think we're all feeling the crunch on it. So it's a great article, good blog post.
Yeah, and speaking of doing more with less, we were in Time Magazine. Congratulations to our partners at Logitech, who were also in the same article, the best inventions of 2022. Thank you, Time, for actually recognizing Microsoft Mesh as one of the go-to pieces. And we say it all the time, Marin, and I think we said it 3 times in this episode. You cannot do Teams rooms without Teams. And Teams is advancing and getting a lot of mainstream press. A lot of people are noticing. So congratulations to us all. Marin, every 2 weeks, you know that myself, Michelle, and the team out of the EU and Australia, we do a bi-weekly training session. This week, we actually had Sandhya and Tony Woodruff from the engineering group who deal with Teams rooms on Android. One of the tidbits that we got out of that is Walk Up and Whiteboard is coming in the latest version. We said it before, Whiteboard has some new features to it, but now it's actually coming to Teams rooms where we can actually walk up, just start a whiteboard and go ahead and use it. And that has to do with some of the permissions that were in there. But if you have not signed up on aka.ms learning about Teams rooms, there are more episodes this year. We are actually starting to schedule the episodes for next year as well. It's important to make sure that you're up to date. We have 10 minutes here every Friday. We can't do it.
Yeah, and you cover some really great topics. It was interesting. We did a look back, and obviously Front Row gets a lot of hits, but Android is really the topic of the year. Got to always stay up to date on what's happening with that platform and all the newest, latest, and greatest features. So I love that you guys do that, and I'm excited for some of the upcoming topics. We'll tease to what they are in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. And Marin, if you're a partner, go to your learning path and you will see all of the boot camps that we recently did back in October. They're there. And I highlighted 2 of them because who doesn't want to see more Jimmy and Marin, on long format? But these 2 are actually up there along with the other 6, I believe, that are up there as modules. If you did not catch us live, go look at these recordings because there's a lot of information in there and a lot of things that you can take out of these learning things. And Marin, December 8th is an important day for me. I'm going to be doing 2 events. I'm going to start with our friends from Carousel.
Give me 2 times.
Give me 2 times. But I am going to start with our friends from Carousel and speaking on a more freedom and flexibility, the hybrid work solutions. We're going to talk to customers. We're going to actually bring in some insights, and that's going to start. Go register now if you want to learn more about some of the things that our partners at Carousel and are doing with their customers. Also, if you're around the New York City area, Marin, I know you're in sunny Florida down there.
It's cold today, though.
I'm up here freezing, but I'm still in linen because I can't give up the summer. But if you're in New York City and you are around the Planar showroom, please come visit. I will be with a whole bunch of people on a panel talking about new work, talking about everything that has to do with new work. I think we're going to actually show some demonstrations of how we actually work and how Teams Rooms are bringing us forward. So Dan Jackson, myself, Michael Goldman, and others will be there. We're going to actually have some food and cocktails, I think, too.
All right.
So, it's an important
part. It's going to be a big day for you.
Absolutely. And Marin, for those of you that don't know, here in the States, next week is Thanksgiving. It is a day to give thanks. I want to say thank you to the community. I want to say thank you to you, Marin. I want to say thank you to everybody, one of my colleagues at Microsoft. I want to thank everybody with saying we will not be here next week, Marin.
Yeah, we deserve a day off, right?
We deserve a day off, and I think so does everybody else. But in that spirit of Thanksgiving and giving thanks to everybody, please understand, we thank everybody in the community. We thank everybody who follows us every Friday. I went to some on-sites this week. Speaking in person, and people do come up and say, I watch you on Friday. How do you get your energy? I have no idea. It's not there when I'm in person, believe me. But thank you to Michael behind the scenes as well, because he does a great job of producing. And thank you, everyone. We will return in 2 weeks. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Happy Friday.